Should Disney consider purchasing Activision? One investor believes so. This is from Joseph Schaffner over at DualShockers. Never seen that name. He doesn't have an image. Is he possibly a new contributor over here? Also, I realize I'm not capturing my mouse, so when I circle stuff, you can't see it. But Joseph Schaffner says Activision Blizzard Inc. has seen its share prices drop more than 40% in the past year. To some, this represents a good buying opportunity, and there's no greater buyer in the entertainment industry than Walt Disney Co. You guys may have heard of them. Have a little cinematic universe called the Mickey U. Just announced the next phase of movies. I don't know anything about the MCU. Nick Lycoris of the investment firm Gerber Kawasaki reportedly sees benefits between Activision's esport business and Disney's TV networks, and Disney has plenty of character properties that could be leveraged further. Disney's checkered past in the world of video games may put them off. However, Disney Infinity, for instance, was an ambitious attempt to enter the world of video games, but this project ended in costly failure. And so I don't think that this is something that realistically is going to happen, but I do think it's an interesting thought exercise. Like, look, Disney has dominated the movie space for years, right? They scooped up Marvel and have done tremendous things with their franchises. They've been in the TV business, and with the MCU, they're gonna double down on the TV business. They got Disney Plus, their streaming service coming out. Like, they're gonna be dominating the streaming side of things as well. Like, it makes sense for Disney to want to jump into gaming, and they've done that, right? They've done that to an extent. Insomniac Spider-Man game. We have the Avengers game that's coming out from Crystal Dynamics. And so they're in there to an extent, and they've said in the past, like, look, we think within the video game space, it's a place we want to be, but we want to be there licensing our IP rather than publishing our IP. But I think this is interesting, less from the development and publishing side of things, and more interesting from the esports side of things, right? Right now, Disney owns ABC. They own ESPN. ESPN was the first cable television station that became synonymous with wall-to-wall sports coverage, right? They were trailblazers in that space, with Sports Center, with live broadcast sports, with highlights, with news coverage. Like, they were trailblazers. And at this point now, right, there's tons of different cable sports networks. You've got Fox Sports, you've got CBS Sports, you've got, each and every league has their own network, the NHL network, NFL network, NBA TV. Like, ESPN was the pioneer of that, right? Esports doesn't have anything like that right now, but yet I'm on Twitch all the time. There's always an esport event going on. It does not matter what time of day it is. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what day of the week it is. Like, I can find an esports event that is on. And I would love a centralized place, right, to consume esports stuff, because, and I don't know, like, it'd be interesting to talk to the guys from Project Esports, like Andrew Nimsgren and Dylan Beal, about this idea. Like, I don't know if I'm in the minority of esports fans where I like to watch a bunch of different esports. I'm only knowledgeable about a couple of them. Like, I feel like I know a ton about the Overwatch League. I'm getting into the NBA 2K League, to the point where I really want to start getting to know it. And I've been watching a shitload of professional League of Legends, to the point where I feel like I can have at least a decently informed conversation about it. But then I also watch Dota. I watch Rainbow Six. I like to watch Rocket League. I watch the Call of Duty tournament this weekend. I like to orbit around esports in general. And so I wonder if I'm in the minority of fans. Like, do more fans just say like, okay, I'm a League fan and I just keep up with League because I play League all the time, or I'm a Dota fan because I, for the same reasons. Like, because if there's a lot of people who are like me, having this hub network that I could go to, and look, I'm like way out in left field with my speculation. To be transparent and fair, I don't think this is what Disney would want to do. But I'm saying they own ESPN, who has the model of this for sports, and I would love to see it in esports, where like I can tune in and they're gonna take me around the leagues, like with a sports center, like an esports center. Please, for the love of God, do not call it esports center. But like, hey, we're gonna bounce around highlights from between Dota and this Rainbow Six, because one of the difficult things when you're a guy like me who just orbits around esports is you don't have any context, right? Like, I've been watching Dota because the international is coming up. It's got this gigantic ass prize pool. Like, I only somewhat understand what's going on in Dota. One of the great things that SportsCenter does is it tells great stories. It tells great sports stories, or it used to. I haven't watched SportsCenter in years. And it provided great context for the games I would be watching later that day, even for leagues that I didn't quite keep up with as much, like the NHL or, you know, like soccer, things like that. It could really create a moment just in the way that it covered it. And it would be really cool to have an esports hub that does something like that, right? So, but also, like, look, esports is just lucrative at this point. Disney already kind of partners with Blizzard with the Overwatch League. They air the Overwatch League on Disney XD every single week. There's a few games that air there. They've been putting the like stage finals on ABC. I think a lot of the playoffs are actually going to be on main ESPN and ABC. They've done World of Warcraft Classic. So yeah, there's a lot of like, and then with like Call of Duty is about to launch their localized league that's similarly structured to the Overwatch League. Like, there's a lot of opportunities here for Disney to become like the broadcasting spearhead of esports. And not to say that they'd be the first to broadcast esports. Like, esports has been on television before. A lot of it have been on Disney properties. They've taken that risk. But to really like define what it is to cover esports, because I think what we've seen a lot of is like trying to replicate how we broadcast and cover traditional sports. And while that works to an extent, there's another element to it, right? And if anybody could go up against Amazon and Twitch for that space, it'd be Disney. It would definitely be Disney. It would make it a little tricky with Overwatch, because I think Overwatch has an exclusive like streaming, like free streaming agreement with Twitch that runs through maybe 2020, 2021. So like they would have to figure out what that would look like for Disney XD, not Disney XD, for Disney Plus. But I think it would be cool from the esports side of things. I would love to see a place where like, oh man, this channel is just live 24/7. I can go and hear people talk about esports without having to like, because I have it on a lot when I'm like just working. Like today I had some Rainbow Six tournament on while I was like doing reports or something, you know? So I don't think it's ever going to happen because of those quotes about, you know, because if you're buying Activision and Blizzard, you want to take advantage of their publishing abilities. You want to take advantage of their game studios as well. And just the fact that Disney's CEO has been quoted as saying, you know, we think that we're better off licensing rather than publishing. I just don't see him straying too far from that. But it's a fun thought exercise.